I'm a Russian-born American who has been living in New Zealand for 16 years now. And today I thought I would take you on another really nice local walk so you can see a bit of the nature here while we talk about what it's like to live here and other kind of things like that. So please do brew up a warm cup of tea or coffee on my behalf because it is actually very cold today. Despite the greenery. It is middle of winter, everything is green, but it is actually very cold today. Someone in one of my previous videos commented that they think that my roots will always be in Russia and that I shouldn't forget that. And I've been thinking about that. I'm curious to know what your opinion is, because I know that there are a lot of people on the channel who were born in one place and have moved to another place, or maybe they're partners from a different country or something like that. What are your thoughts on the matter? Because I don't actually know. Sometimes I do think that my roots will always be in Russia, but then I think, I've moved around so much, and maybe it's actually a little bit more accurate to say that I'm getting distracted because it's so pretty here. I'm going to have to do some B-roll to show you. Maybe it's more accurate to say that wherever I have lived, I have placed at least some roots, and that every time I move away to somewhere else, I end up leaving a little bit of those roots in that place, and those roots that I had left on some level still kind of call to me. So I definitely, in that way, miss Russia. I miss America sometimes. I even miss South Korea, where I lived for a couple of years. I miss Ireland, where I lived for only a few months. So, I don't know. I think to me, at least in my specific case, it's maybe a little bit more accurate to say that I have a little bit of roots kind of everywhere. And lots of roots now in New Zealand. And now that I have a Kiwi family here in New Zealand, and I joke that even my cats are Kiwis, I definitely have a lot of roots here too. So I don't know. It's a tricky one. I also think that sometimes maybe we shouldn't really overcomplicate it either. Like someone else commented something along the lines of, don't worry about it, you are from the earth like the rest of us, I think that's quite nice. So I used to do quite a lot of walking in my adult life. I think it started maybe back from when I was at university or college back in the States. I went to quite a big college. It was the University of Wisconsin in Madison. Oh my gosh, it's so pretty here. Focus. And all the buildings, like where the different classes were so spread out that I kind of had no choice but to get into walking, So I've been quite into walking maybe since then. Anytime I would travel somewhere and want to explore like a new city or something like that, I would, oh my gosh, it is so magical here. I would walk, in the city. Sometimes I would be with people who insisted we take the bus or something like that, but I love walking to explore new places. I live in the Wellington region, and I must have walked from one end of Wellington to the other like bazillion times now. Which maybe isn't saying much. I mean, it takes what, like just 40 minutes maybe to walk from one end of Wellington to the other, so it's not a very big city. Wow. You know, when my parents first came to New Zealand to visit me a few days before I got married, they looked around at the nature and they were like, yeah, this looks really prehistoric. Like it could be a scene out of Jurassic Park or something. Anyway, I'm getting really distracted because it's so pretty here. Wow. Gosh, if you ever want to just escape your modern day problems just for a little while, just come to this place. Seriously, it is amazing. What was I saying about walking? Yeah, so then obviously I did quite a lot of walking when I moved to New Zealand. I traveled around and I like to explore bushwalks like this anytime I could. But then, you know, I got older and life just started to sort of get in the way. I don't know, you might know what I'm talking about. Like, being in an office 9 to 5, you know, Monday to Friday, doesn't leave a lot of room for this sort of exploration. And maintaining a hobby such as walking, and then having small kids, you can go out walking with them, but unless they're a certain age, their legs are just really small and they can't go for hours-long walks or anything. So I sort of found, probably from my mid-30s up until recently, I'm 40 years old now, so it's a handful of years, I just sort of stopped walking completely. So yeah, walking has always been my hobby. It's obviously very good for you to be outdoors like this, but I had totally stopped for about 5 years. Well, a little less than 5 years, just because life got in the way. And looking back on it, I think I really felt it, honestly, without realizing it. You know, just being stuck indoors all day and staring at screens and stuff, it doesn't rejuvenate you in the way that being outdoors does. I think anybody who spends a lot of time outside realizes this, you know. And why wouldn't you? I mean, imagine living in a place like this, like New Zealand, and not going out there and appreciating the outdoors. That's one of the reasons I actually started doing videos like this on my channel, because I know there are people who, okay, wait, let me look at this sign before I get lost. Oh yeah, okay. Which way do I go? I actually wanna, let's go this way. Anyway, I was saying that's one of the reasons why I actually started doing videos like this on my channel. It's because, first of all, I need to get out there more and enjoy nature. And second of all, I know that there are people watching who don't have the opportunity to do something like this for whatever reason. And for those people, you know, at least they can brew up a nice tea or coffee and come along virtually with me. And, ooh, it's very loud here. Oh my gosh, wow. So doing it virtually, obviously it's not as good as doing it in person, but I think it's still a good option. And you know, this sort of relaxing kind of content is probably not as bad for you as some of the other stuff that's out there that's more flashy and is just there to kind of keep our attention. I have not been on this track in probably more than 10 years. I cannot believe how gorgeous it is. This is amazing. I hope that some of it's translating on screen, actually. Might have to drag a friend out here or something, because there's no one else out here. Oh my gosh. Okay, now, what do I not miss about living in North America as compared to New Zealand? Well, this is something that people who do live in New Zealand, now myself included, sometimes take for granted because they don't realize what it's like in other places. There are no predators in this forest, okay? By far, the most dangerous thing that I'm likely to encounter is another human being or maybe someone's pet dog that is off their leash and is, not well trained. That's it. There's no bears, no wolves, there's no poisonous spiders or poisonous snakes. There's nothing, okay? In fact, I had passed by a sign that said to please be careful because you're entering a kiwi area. So maybe in this forest, the most dangerous thing that there is, apart from humans and dogs, are kiwis. Kiwi's the bird, okay? So bird that can't even fly, to give you an idea of how dangerous they are. How crazy is that? Like, I've been living here for 16 years, and it's just something that I don't think about anymore. I haven't thought about it in ages. I just take for granted that I can go walking in any kind of place that looks like this and be totally safe. And I didn't really start thinking about it until some people mentioned in the comments, I think in the last video. One guy was saying that he was walking recently and it's a good thing he had bear spray because there were bears around. I'm guessing it's kind of like a pepper spray, but for bears. I'm not well versed in bear things, but like how crazy is that? I remember, so I grew up in just a regular suburb in Illinois, in the States. And we have coyotes there, just like running around. It's just a suburb. There's no really wooded areas around as such. But still, you have these occasional coyotes running around, which are dangerous, okay? They're not dogs. They're dangerous. And the last time I visited was about a year and a half ago, right before my parents sold my childhood home. I visited there and I was walking around with my kids who were very little at the time, 3 and 5 or something. No, wait. I don't know. There was something like that. And I was just walking around, went to the nearby playground, and one of the other parents came running up to me and said, "Be careful, there's a coyote. There's a coyote around." And I was like, I was so scared. I had sort of lost my, resilience toward predatory animals or something, living in this like safe place called New Zealand, because growing up in that exact area with all the coyotes, I never once even thought about it. Like I never worried about my own safety, anything like that. But then this time I just remember being really scared. Like I scooped up my kids and we just went home. So yeah, that's one really great thing about New Zealand. It's just, you are totally safe. Again, like I said, the most dangerous thing you can run into is another human, or maybe an off-lead dog. I have certainly seen, actually one time I witnessed a really scary dog fight at a camping ground around a lot of other children. Luckily it was between the two dogs and the dogs didn't attack anyone else, but yeah, that was really scary. Really, really scary. So anytime I'm around dogs, especially larger ones, I'm really wary just in case. Oh, there was one time though that I was walking around, I think it was in the Waitakere Ranges in Auckland, or in the Auckland area. And how do I get through this mud? Okay, just one step at a time. It's a good thing I'm wearing waterproof boots. Ugh. And I was walking and all of a sudden I saw little baby boars, like little wild boar babies. And they were so cute. And I was like, oh. And then from somewhere in the bushes, I heard this noise. And it turns out that it was, well, I assume that it was the mother boar kind of warning me from the bushes. I was quite scared then. I'm not gonna lie. Gosh, it is gorgeous. I might just have to do, I don't know if I should do another video one day, kind of like the very first one that I did, where it's mostly B-roll of me walking and just showing off the nature. This is like, yeah, this is amazing. And it's so quiet and peaceful. The only sound is the river below me and my footsteps and the occasional bird. And that's pretty much it. I do, again, wish I had a coffee here because it is cold. I don't know, maybe I should have brought one. Ugh, when will I learn? At least I'm not on a trek that's mostly uphill like I usually am in my videos. So hopefully I'll be huffing and puffing a bit less. Anyway, it's really nice to be able to just get back to a point where I can enjoy this beautiful country, and not only that, but I can share it with you. It's much more fun to enjoy it together. So. Do let me know where you're watching this video, because I'm very, very curious. I want to know how many people are watching this curled up all cozy and stuff on the couch. Oh, that reminds me, so we installed central heating. Like the American that I am, I wanted central heating. And we also installed a DVS system to keep the house dry, because there can be a lot of condensation on the windows in the winter without it. And the DVS the other day, broke. The fans broke or something. So we have to go get it assessed and probably repaired. It was really frustrating. Because I woke up one morning and just saw that the windows and the windowsills had so much condensation on them. It was crazy. Let me know if you have any, for anyone who doesn't have a DVS, let me know if you have any tips and tricks for reducing the condensation just until we get ours fixed. Because I know it can contribute to the house feeling colder than it should. And, it can start growing mold on the curtains and things, all those things that I want to avoid. I'm actually floored. So this area that I'm walking in has lots of different walking tracks. I'm on the most popular one, and I'm not actually going to be able to make it all the way through it because it'll take pretty much a day to go and come back. But maybe next time I can wake up early and make a day trip out of it. And there's also a camping ground here as well. I think camping is one of those things that, I mean, as a Russian, we don't camp, okay? Russians don't camp. Americans, as an American, I've heard of people camping. As a Kiwi, I'm into camping, okay? It would be a shame not to, at least once or twice, especially if you have young kids, to go and camp. Especially if you've got like a camper van. Oh, I wish we had one of those. We have a really, really big tent, which is really nice, but it takes ages to set up and to take back down, which is a little bit annoying. Maybe one day we can have a camper van so we can just drive up someplace and park, and then that's it. I'm not going to pretend that I love camping for me as an individual, but I can just see how it's an amazing activity to do with family, especially if your kids are small, because when they are, at least in my kids' case, when they are provided with the outdoors, with no time limit really on when they have to be inside, and there's no TVs or anything to distract them, they just play for hours and hours on end. If there's a stream, they'll go play in the stream. They'll go play in the mud, play in the sand. They'll run around. They'll make friends with other people at the campsite. There's this one in particular that we go to in Paikakariki, which is a place maybe 30 minutes drive from my house. It's not very far. And it's camping for people who are kind of new to camping, in the sense that it's a very well kind of contained area, so you can let your kids loose and not worry about them getting lost. They've got facilities like bathrooms, showers, kitchen, so you don't really need to worry about those things. So that's pretty much where we go. We love it. We've been going only like once a year though, but for the past few years, once or twice a year. I'd like to go a little bit more often. And it's just like, I don't know, at first it feels a little bit weird to go there and, okay, I'm gonna have to start turning around, otherwise I'll never get home. Like at first, it might feel a little bit weird to sort of show up in this outdoorsy place and not have your home comforts, like your couch, your TV, your tablets, like whatever it is. But after a bit of time, it just, I don't know, it's a great way to kind of unwind and reset yourself, I guess. And again, if you have kids, it's just such a joy to watch how they just, I don't know, like come into themselves or something when they're camping, when they're just spending all that time outdoors and having adventures. Kind of reminds me of my own childhood, where, I mean, we weren't camping, but as a rule, the kids in my neighborhood would pretty much be outside from after breakfast to when it was time for dinner. You would just be outside riding your bikes and having adventures and learning. how to behave with other peers and stuff like that. So I don't know, I think in the modern world, where almost by default, we are all kind of indoors all of the time, I think camping is kind of like just a pretty easy way to mitigate some of that stuff and get a little bit of the magic of childhood back if you have kids. That's just my opinion. Oh, almost fell. So yeah, let me know if you're into that kind of stuff. Are you into camping? Someone commented in my last video that he's a Kiwi, but his wife is Russian. And she, before moving to New Zealand, didn't do any of that stuff. No camping, no hiking, no kayaking, no whatever outdoorsy thing. And since she's come here, she does all of it. So that's really cool. That's really cool. Anyway, as always, I love to hear from you. Let me know where you might like to explore with me next, or what you'd like to talk about. I love bringing you along with me because, yeah, it makes me feel like I'm not completely alone walking in the forest on a Tuesday or whenever it is that I'm recording this. Thanks for spending time with me. I'll see you next time.